Bonjour, comment ça va? Dear brothers and sisters in Jesus Christ, I would like to share with you another conversion story of a saint today to help us during this season of Lent to look into our own lives and see how worthily we live our lives in the sight of God. These stories of the saints help us to look into our own lives and see if we too live a life worthy of God, doing the right thing and speaking the right thing that are pleasing to God. What comes to your mind when I say the word integrity? What is integrity? Integrity is doing the right thing even when no one is watching, says C.S. Lewis. Are you a person of integrity? Do you meet people with integrity? A person with integrity demonstrates sound moral and ethical principles and does the right thing even when no one is watching. That is integrity. We see a lot of people in our life who live with this quality of integrity, doing the right thing even when no one is watching, because it demands of them. Integrity is doing the right thing even when no one is watching, and even if it is inconvenient, even if it is difficult, still doing the right thing in right time is integrity. Unlike the other saints, the saint that we are going to see today is not a great sinner but a man of integrity who was looked up to for his good qualities in life. He was a friend of a king. He enjoyed royal life and a very good social status, but that never stopped him being a person of integrity and a person of good moral and a person of good values in life. But when time tested him, when difficulties came upon him, when things did not go right, he was not afraid to raise his voice or stand for his values and integrity. And that cost him his life. That saint, who was a man of integrity and lived a moral life, having very high social and ethical values in his life, but when time came for him to stand up for his faith and also stand up for his honesty, he was not afraid of losing even his life. That saint is Saint Thomas More. Earlier, I was always confused on hearing the name of Saint Thomas More and Thomas Becket. But the more we come to know their history, now we clearly understand that Saint Thomas Becket was an archbishop of Canterbury in England, and Saint Thomas More was a layman, married and had children, also was working for England and lost his life for standing up to his faith. Even though St. Thomas Becket and Thomas More were different people. They, uh, the big similarity between them is they stood for their faith and gave their life for standing up for their faith and their God. St. Thomas More was born in London, England in 1478. He went to Oxford University, studied law, and received his doctorate in 1501. He entered the English Parliament in 1504. He married Jane Holt in 1505 and had 4 children: Margaret, Elizabeth, Cecilia, and John. The More household was a model of spiritual and intellectual life. Thomas More saw that his daughters were well educated, something unusual in those days, and he led his family in prayer, reading the scriptures, and discussion on the important matters of his day. He welcomed into his home not only famous scholars like Saint John Fisher and Erasmus, but also his poorer neighbors, whom he treated warmly and respectfully. When Henry VIII became king, he sought out More as a friend and an advisor. In 1529, Thomas More became Lord Chancellor of England and functioned wisely and justly in that office. Shortly after Thomas took office, Henry VIII began proceedings to divorce Catherine of Aragon. Because he could not agree with the king, Thomas kept silent and eventually, in 1532, resigned his office. Without income and in disfavor, he spent the next few years writing and reflecting, living quietly with his family. But in 1534, Thomas More was asked by the king to take an oath to the king that he could not accept. He refused, and after 15 months in prison, he was beheaded on July 6th, 1535. King's good servant, but God's first. When it came about professing one's faith, St. Thomas More was not afraid of losing his position, his power, his wealth, and even his life. Therefore, nothing came in between professing his faith. He was courageous enough even to sacrifice his life for standing up for his faith. Sometimes in our own lives, we do have this difficulty, unable to put the right values in front of us. Is it our political and values of this world, or the values of the kingdom of God and his faith? What is most important? For St. Thomas More, it was God first and the king second. Let us ask St. Thomas More to pray for every one of us that we be people of integrity, and stand up for our faith even when it is difficult to profess our faith. May God bless you and have a beautiful day.